All right, this is 348 Northeast Harvest Street. I don't know if you can hear the traffic noise, but the one thing about this property is that Highway 20 does run directly behind it. Highway 20 is just well, here in town right here, it's 4 lanes, but it's small. I don't know how to describe it. I'll take a picture of it. But there is quite a bit of traffic. This house does have a fairly large yard. I couldn't really hear any street noise from inside the house, but that will be an issue outside. You don't really get jet noise here though, so there is kind of a give and take. So the newer fence belongs to this property. This is the neighborhood. This is the older part of town. I do tend to like the older houses more than the new houses because they used better quality material. I will say on this one, I did notice off the bat that some of the siding is rotten, and it makes it look even worse than it is because and this happens all the time here, they appear to have used like a latex based paint and painted when it wasn't very dry out, so you get all this bubbling. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Yeah, it's funny, sometimes you walk up to a house and you'll push on the bubbles and water will spill out, but I'm guessing because this was a flip back in 2020 that they just slapped some paint on here really quick to get it on the market as fast as they could. So again, you can see where it was not painted appropriately and it's wet. And the windows are updated. The chimneys look to be in good condition. It does have a wood burning stove, which is really nice, although I think, if I'm not forgetting, I think that they did replace it with an insert, but I'll double check that. So again, here you can see the nails are popping. That's just because they put on the old paint and it did not protect the siding, and so you have some boards that are rotten. It's mainly just this front part here as far as I can see. The roof, the listing agent is trying to figure out the age of the roof. It was not put on when her people had purchased it. From the ground, it looks like it's in decent condition. I'm not seeing any like missing granulation or popped seams or anything. It does have evidence that it was pretty mossy and they just got it cleaned off, but again, that's unfortunately really common here. If you don't treat and remove moss every single year, it grows really quickly. So all this siding is in really good condition. You can see what a difference it makes that it was protected from the weather when they painted. You don't have any of that bubbling. So you have a storage container out here. There's a gate to the backyard. And then here's like an automatic light. See if I can get it to, there we go. This is just a little storage area that they have crammed full of their stuff because they're moving. Not insulated or anything like that. It's just a motion sensing light. It does appear, this is scary, it does appear that they have electricity run out here. Maybe this is it over here. Nope, but I'm not going to mess with that too much because that's kind of precarious the way they have everything laying on top of it. Oop. But it is a nice storage area at the back of the garage. All right. No hand railing. Generally, the VA wants a railing if there's more than 2 stairs. It does appear that it went VA no problem last time without it. But anything that is like a lender requirement falls on the seller. So if that were something that were to be brought up, they would need to fix it. I think that's how they covered up the hole from where what is that? Oh, there isn't a hole back there. I was going to say maybe there's a doorbell, but all right, so inside it's pretty nicely updated. The people did just run out of here on a quick unexpected trip. So they apologized because they didn't leave it as clean as they wanted to. But you have your vinyl plank flooring. That is about the biggest gap I see right there. Everything else is pretty tight. Recessed lighting, decent sized living room. Have furnace. The furnace and the hot water heater are, I believe it was 2020, so they're pretty new. Nice tile backsplash. Newer appliances. Big farmhouse sink. The refrigerator does stay in this one. These are older drawers. They didn't replace anything, which on one hand is good because everything is solid wood. On the other hand, you know, they're a little bit more sticky. You don't get the soft close. And then this one is interesting. So that drawer doesn't have a handle. I think because it hits that one. It's always funny to me when people remodel things and they don't think about finishes and how they might affect things. I'm guessing that's why they didn't put a handle on that drawer. So again, a little bit harder to open and close. Flat top stove like the other house. It is still wood burning. Okay, thank goodness. So nice wood burning fireplace. That is great because we do tend to have power outages here in the winter. You know, we're on an island in the Pacific. It gets windy. And so having the wood burning as a secondary source of heat is nice. You do have the updated thermostat. This is just some paneling that they put up to make it look cute. So down this hall, and we came in the front door there. This first hall off to the left, there is the water heater. Nice big water heater. Nice big new water heater. A little half bath. It even has a bidet. That probably came in handy during COVID with the toilet paper shortage. And washer dryer. Storage, door out to the backyard. I'm failing at English. Down the hall here, you have a nice big linen closet. It goes pretty deep. Just packed full right now. Your full bath. Again, everything is newer. This is tile. It's an interesting caulking color choice. They do make black and dark gray caulk to put in these things, and they chose that for some reason. But anyway, other than that, it's in really good condition. Built-ins. That's your furnace. So I was wrong. It was built-ins. They removed it and put the furnace in here when they upgraded the heating system. And again, that furnace was installed in 2020, so it's new. And here off on the left-hand side is the master. They have a king bed in here. It's pretty tight. It is slightly bigger than the other bedroom at the other house. Closet. Closet is about the same size. And they apologized for the blackout curtains. They have a newer baby and they just stuck them up temporarily, so they apologized for the tape. Again, they kind of went on a last minute trip and didn't have time to get the house show ready before they left. So this is much bigger than the second bedroom at the other house. You could easily fit a queen bed and then some furniture. closet. Let's go out to the backyard. Nice covered porch area. Comes in handy here when it rains a lot. See if I'll leave the beer fridge. This all looks to be in really good shape. Again, it's the siding. That's firm. It's not soft. They just did a really awful paint job. Drives me crazy. And another nice storage shed back here. Whoop. I'm gonna trip myself. Much bigger yard than the other house. Really nice, pretty old cedar tree, cherry trees. I believe this is a Rainier cherry. Let me zoom in. Nice old cherry tree. Lilacs all along the fence back here. Fire pit. You can hear the cars. So there's Highway 20. And directly across the street is a Starbucks, City Hall, my office, a frozen yogurt place, the middle school. Less than a block that way is 24-hour fitness, grocery stores, Tractor Supply. So you're within walking distance of everything down here, but you do unfortunately then get more road noise. Oh, I had a bee fly into my ear. Looks like the fence is in pretty rough shape right there. They did replace it all along Highway 20. So this is what Highway 20 looks like. This would be the standard amount of traffic. It really dies off after like 8 p.m. when you're driving through town. But it can get pretty busy during the middle of the day. You can see that's the middle school right there. Love that cedar tree. And it appears that they do have an old fuel oil tank back here. Let's see. I've gotten rid of several of these at houses. They're not super inexpensive as long as they're empty to get rid of. I just throw them in dumpsters when I clean up houses and the dump takes them. And this looks like crawl space access. So I can't see too well in there. But it looks, I know you can't see, it looks pretty dry. And it does have vapor barrier, which is nice because a lot of them don't. Again, updated windows. They really messed up the paint job on this house. So, overall impressions, it's not in nearly as good a condition as the other house. Because the other house was done for the owner, like by the owner, whereas this house is done by people to flip it to make a profit. Obviously, they're gonna try and save money. Really, the biggest red flags are just the paint and some of the siding outside. Everything else is, I mean, it's old. It's older, but it's in good condition with the newer water heater, the new furnace. And you do have more living area. Well, I take that back. If you change the other daycare area into living area, you have about the same amount of living area. You definitely have bigger bedrooms in this home than the other one. The bathrooms are pretty comparable. You have more yard space in this one. Nice covered outdoor area, just like the other one, but you do have more road noise. Both are within great like walking distance to all kinds of amenities. So I'd say they're really comparable there. Oh, yep, this is Harvest, and this one is listed at $450.